We got us a team 1 together with Hamawari as a feral druid. We got us as Matt and Demon returning for these duels. Ner'zhul gonna be first up over for the team 2 for team 1 versus Scarlet on team 2. We got Santa Claus in the back, and we got ourselves Super Gaylord. I love that name. It's just Superman. Super good name. We got Scarlet gonna be first up as a Frosty Mage. Got himself the Earth Elemental to at least get some Frostbolts off of, but that Static Totem may put him in a tight spot. That's a Volta Time ready to go, but that's gonna be Ner'zhul aggressively trying to peel Andy Buzz over Scarlet, trying to see if he can unleash the absolute carnage of the Enhanced Shaman Burst. Absolutely just classic the elements of Scarlet. Scarlet trying to see if he can maybe back up out. Ice Bucket is the last second as they're looking for that recovery. Over on Team Scarlet, we got ourselves Gaga Daga, we got ourselves DJ, we got ourselves Elise, and we got ourselves Seawork ready to go as an Arcane Mage. The Scarlet trying to see if maybe he can get himself a poly onto Ner'zhul. Ner'zhul backing up out of there. Quick interrupt to Scarlet. Just looking to back up out of there completely. Gonna be Scarlet able to at least get some Frostbolts off of that pet. And that's gonna be random procs of Deathborn. Is gonna have to get Ner'zhul out in the open. Force out the interrupt, force out the grounding, and force out CC, and then find an opportunity for them to go full Deathborn, cast some Frostbolts back to back on Ner'zhul. That's all they can essentially do. It's gonna be difficult against a Shaman just because they have so much counterplay towards a Mage. All buffs you put in yourself, they can just remove, wave their hands, and they're gone. All those shields, all those defensives, gone. You want to try to get an interrupt from a distance? Poly, did wave their hand, remove another way with the wind shear. Trying to actually get a cast off. Here's a grounding totem. You're just gonna slurp up that Poly into itself. Scarlet trying to see if he can make a bit of a play though. Finally able to get some cast off. Gonna be sundered by Ner'zhul. If you get some peel away from Ner'zhul with a shimmer and just get some distance, you may be able to break away from the guy for just a moment. Trying to see if he can get a cast off versus Ner'zhul. That's gonna be a hex to follow. Does get interrupt on nature. Scarlet could potentially get himself some Frostbolts up and running, but again trying to see if he can avoid Ner'zhul. Trying to get out of that melee ridge. Gonna be a trick it out of the Shaman as it's another bomber gonna be up for Scarlet. Has the cold snap for a second ice bucket in case of need to. Trying to get some procs. Maybe an ice bucket right here. It does have to burn it, and Ner'zhul so far hasn't really taken that much damage from Scarlet, but Scarlet so far has been struggling to really get Ner'zhul in a position where they're taking a lot of damage. Gonna be a hex, maybe, does land it. At least Ner'zhul does not have a wall anymore, so actually Scarlet is able to get cooldowns out of him. So at least no more wall, no more nothing. Gonna be most likely a stun totem onto Scarlet. Trying to see if he can win it. Capacitor does end up connected either way. The Ghost Raptors are on him. Does have a blink in order to be able to at least get away from Ner'zhul. That Alien Blast is gonna be able to burn through that shield of Scarlet fairly easily. Trying to land a Polymorph, but it's gonna be Ring of Frost. At least able to keep Ner'zhul away from him. Maybe for just a moment. Does get frozen. It's gonna be Scarlet sending out a frozen orb into a wall. Super unfortunate. But at least is not able to. At least isn't breaking the CC from Ner'zhul. So maybe that was probably the better play. Gonna be Scarlet with barely the health. Ner'zhul can just remove that shield fairly easily. He's just trying to see if he can purge it off as best as possible. Scarlet trying to get some damage out. Is it gonna be an interrupt? Does get the interrupt on that Poly. Ner'zhul just has the flame stick rolling. I think it may be over for Scarlet, man. What can a Frost Mage do in this type of situation? At least was able to block Ner'zhul for a moment with the ice wall. At least he's able to CC you for a second with that. Man, that is rough. That is really, really rough. See, we're trying to go for a bit of a massive is as he approaches Ner'zhul, touching the Magi. Arcana Sphere getting cooked up, potentially can get himself some biggie damage in. Missiles to follow, trying to blast out Ner'zhul. Then it's going to be a wall, grounding totem getting removed. Ner'zhul taking a lot of damage. Then it's going to be low in health. Touching the Magi on him. Big barrages back to back. Wall is still up on him. Definitely needs to go for as much self healing as possible. Straight to power 4. See where Ner'zhul does not have a way to interrupt the big Shade Harvest to recover all that health. Man just took a big barrage of arcane damage and survived it with a fatty Shade Harvest, just giving him all that health back while stealing it from Seavark. Seavark at least got some cooldowns back. Massive is available. Could maybe get some CC onto Ner'zhul. He has some cooldowns up as well. He could potentially make a big all Hail Mary play. I think it's about basically all he can really do. Trying to see if he can land a Poly. Gonna be an interrupt onto the Hex. Does finally get some CC. Arcana Sphere. It's gonna be a trick and available for Ner'zhul. Does at least try to see if he can clip him a little bit. No more interrupt for Ner'zhul for a second, but does get grounded totem. Ultra Trap for Seavark, or at least Prismatic. Sunder. Storm Strike, I mean. Not much you can do against an enhanced Shaman like that, man. There really isn't. It's a tough class for mages to beat. I don't know, maybe Fire would have a little bit easier time just because of survivability, but even then, like, all your buffs can get purged. Your shields are just gonna get removed. Your healing is gonna get limited. That grounding totem is just, it's tough, man. it's kind of rough. Gonna be Gaga Daga trying to be up next versus Nuzul, immediately walling the damage out of this rogue as the Mage comes up, trying to see if he can keep this rogue a distance with the static totem, but the Cloak of Shadow is getting burned. That's a very ballsy move. He's limited himself on the immunity, on the magic damage, which is quite a lot of the Nuzul's damage. So Nuzul is now free to cast into Gaga Daga as much as he wants to. Into immediate disarm. Does Nuzul need weapons? He hasn't been a Maelstrom, got himself the big LA Blast and a Frost Shock, Flame Shock, so he's actually doing okay. Daga, not in a great spot at all. Earth Elemental clobbering him over his back. He can't really catch a proper vanish. Proper restealth, trying to see if he maybe can get himself a big carrying burst setup versus Nuzul, taking a bit of damage. LA Blast does put the rogue back in a critical condition. He definitely needs to get evasion back as soon as possible. Nuzul actually taking a lot of damage. Massive heal, just caught back up out of nowhere. Needs himself a bit of Maelstrom, got himself Ghost Raptors, but doesn't have any healing. Oh my goodness. It looks like he was trying to bank up some Maelstrom, trying to get himself a proper heal, but Gaga Daga just didn't let him have it. Gaga tried to see if he can maybe sap out Mad Demon. It has a trick in case he decides to burn it, as Mad doesn't really commit too many cooldowns. It's going to be a quick blind as it does blur. So Gaga Daga did not force out a trick out on Mad. It's going to be Kidda Shot. It's going to be a demon spawning in. Mad Demon can take it out immediately. It's going to go killing the demon pretty early on and picks up its soul. That's going to be 20% more damage. And Gaga just tried to see if he can bail out of that vanish. The Demon Hunter could use eyes. It's going to go for a flesh cap. This way Gaga wants to push up and maybe interrupt the flesh cap, but he isn't quite able to. Can't get there fast enough. That's going to be Mad Demon leaping super far away. I'm not sure that's what he meant to do, but it does go for a long range meta. Get a shot reversal into Mad. Does not have a trick anymore. Does have an Aegis, but it's not really going to do much against the rogue. I guess it's going to do something against his carrying ability. That does a bit of arcane damage. Gaga trying to see if he can back up out of there. Pistol shotting onto Matt. Matt trying to get some damage in. It's going to be the big bed joining in, but he can slay it immediately. Pick up a little bit of health. Braun joining in, trying to give Daga a little bit of a cover, trying to maybe do some damage and get some healing done. Fighting a Kevin Slime right now. That's going to be Matt getting in with the end of the Kidda Shot. Does pick up the Demon Soul, but he could be in trouble still. If Gaga gets a bunch of crits right now, he could be in a good spot. Disarm to Matt. He does have eyes. He doesn't really need the weapons in order to do damage. He can just literally stare into the man's soul. And Gaga again, just trying to see if he can avoid Matt. Does get a blind back up fairly quickly. Is this man playing a Vanish Lego? I can't even tell. I think he has to be, right? There's no way he isn't. Yeah, he's got to be playing the Vanish Lego. Kidney Shot does have himself a advantage. I think he's just trying to get super aggressive with it. Big finishes. Oh, run through the boy. Taking him out with Hamawari up next. And that's going to be potentially maybe evasion for Daga. Does go for a quick gouge on the cat. Immediate trinket for Hamawari. Uh-oh. But he does get enough damage, enough bleeds onto the rogue. He can't really dodge those. Once the bleeds have set in, there's not much you can really do about it. DJ trying to see if he can get the cat tagged up, but that's going to be berserk. That Hamawari is just trying to take the momentum off and try to keep it rolling into DJ. Hit him with a maim. Trying to get some dots in. Looks like he's going to back up out. DJ not letting him go anywhere. The pet is rooted super far away. Then maybe the play for Hamawari. He's denying the stun for DJ. Finally gets control of the pet. There goes the stun. Hamawari does not really have an answer for this one. Barska is going to use right now. Does get himself an emergency heal with a Friends of Regen. Acid dip slow. We are 36% dampener together with the Raptors Mortal Strike effect. It is going to put some pressure on the Hamawari. DJ, her putting in, interrupt the flash cap very quickly. That's going to be setting on the pet back in there with the kill shot around the corner. And Hamawari does land a full stun onto DJ. Doesn't stay that long at all, though. Did it pre-faint or something? Or was it just a really short maim? That's going to be freezing trap. Might have to power shift it. Doesn't power shift out of cat form. So it's going to be put into CC. That's going to be some freebie dots for DJ for a second here. Get a big old kill shots back to back. All the dots rolling in Hamawari in bear form. Does get himself a Barskin rolling, I think, as well. But this man is just out of options, trying to see if he gets a CEO onto DJ. Definitely needs to go for more bleeds if he wants to make a play. And DJ just needs to feint down those dots and then get himself back up in here. Super good to be up next, trying to charge out on DJ, trying to go for a bit of whirlwinds. And definitely should be picking up eyes as soon as possible. I think he's kind of trying to figure out where DJ is. He has an idea. Done immediately onto DJ with a frenzy trap to follow, and Super does go in for a trinket. Got himself the big banner avatar ready to go. He got himself the most amount of damage possible, but a steel trap is going to keep him trapped up in place for a second, leaping in towards DJ as he's trying to see if he can reposition. He's trying to avoid Super. That's going to be the big old crushing blow charge. He's trying to get himself a reposition. Blaze him right after, get himself a bit of that immunity, trying to keep the pressure rolling versus the Hunter. He's actually just crushing him. DJ may have to burn some defensive, trying to see if he can deal with the warrior. He goes in for a immediate swing, but a freezing trap stops him in place. as DJ finally was able to at least get himself a bit of a breather, throwing in grenades, trying to get some pet damage in, and Super backing up out of the Fleshcraft to try to recuperate back. And he has the pet to at least build some rage off of. He can go for a couple of he can at least maybe use the pet to get himself a full second wind, which not second wind, but ignore pain, which is gonna offset a good portion of the damage at himself. Put himself literally in the corner, forcing DJ. He only has a few angles where he can attack Super from. He's forcing him to get close enough. It does put him in a good spot. He can only hit him from the left. He's basically in charge range. Where he attacks him from, he has to be in that charge range. And before DJ sets up any traps, maybe this is where Super can charge out at him. He's just gonna sit back there with the pet. I think he's just trying to focus on the pet. Stunned by DJ. No chicken for Super. Perfect opportunity for him to get some damage. Charging now with a reflecting case of the freezing trap waiting for him. DJ trying to avoid throwing the freezing trap down, at least just yet. Just trying to see if he can back up out of this one. Super trying to see if he can commit some damage. And then gets a freezing trap to stop him in place. As DJ Flex trying to see if he can recover as much health as humanly possible at the 46% dampener. Super does have some defensives and offensive coming on standby very soon, so it could be a very tight situation for DJ with the Blazer to follow. Does give some bit of damage. This way he goes in for full defensive in range regeneration, gets some mad damage to DJ with a reflective follow. DJ does not drop the freezing trap for him, but Super, I understand why he wanted to do it. If only he have a Bladestorm ready to go, that's the only way he could immune it. Big damage out of DJ. That's gonna be a fear by Super. Checking out of the Hunter, banner up for Super, trying to see if he can make a play, but the Hunter does end up swinging around him with a steel trap trapped in place. It only came in when he sees the warrior low enough to take him out. And Santa Claus is going to be up next as a Demonology Warlock charging out versus DJ, but the man just jumps into Kama looking for that reset. Santa is going to have to get very aggressive with DJ. They have A-list to get through as well, so that's two boys to get through back to back, picking up the eyes, trying to be proactive. And DJ, I don't really know who wins this duel. This is a two, like both of these classes are pet classes, but Santa can actually get some freebie damage to the DJ, and he has pet control, so he shouldn't really be in a bad spot. He got Demon Doggus, he got the main pet, Mordecai sent in, Soul Rod, Demon Tyrant coming up next. Gonna be DJ with a stun as he try to see if he can back away from the Tyrant, taking a bit of damage from all these pets. Either way, though, try to see if he can avoid it with a Feigned Death. That's gonna be a pets charging back out. He can't really go for Feigned Death because Santa actually has good pet control, as the Warlocks do. Stun on the DJ, not much you can really do about it. Back it up out of there, and that's gonna be Santa frozen, just having to wait out for DJ. That's all he can essentially do. Just waiting as best as he can. That's gonna be Santa charging out with more pets. Demon Dog is sent in. DJ, I think, has nowhere to go. I think it may be over. Herplinning, trying to see if he can make a play. Stun, locking him out. No trinket available. I think it might be over for him. Yeah, there it goes. Santa was able to push in and use a lot of offenses to try to see if he could deal with DJ. Trying to see if he can stun A-list, wasn't able to. A-list is playing a Boomkin though, so this is going to be a different duel here. It's a caster instead of like a melee instead of a feral, which I think for Santa is probably the better matchup. Unless A-list just get himself the biggest CC in the opener. Big Roar. Cyclone onto, I think, is the pet. Basher to Santa. Does he just go in for like a Convoke or something? He's just going in for full burst, trying to see if we can make some damage happen. Mordecai sent in. The pet does break free. It's gonna be Soul Run to A-list. Down several Barskin. This is where I think maybe we want to push in. Wall up for Santa right now. A-list trying to see maybe maximize damage. Is he Kyrian? He is Kyrian. Look at that Kyrian burst. He's trying to see if he can maximize big stars. So just back to back at Santa. Continuing to blast him out. Is that gonna be enough? The Santa needs to go for recovery. He does someone to Santa. Not much you can really do versus a Warlock, I guess. Might as well hit him with the disarm. But Santa trying to see if he can land a fear onto A-list. Is able to. Tyrant is up, but the man is just rotted down dots. There's not much you can really do. Wait, how'd you come back? How'd you return? What the? That's gonna be full dots of Santa. Trying to see if he can continue the pressure. The Tyrant swinging around the corner. A-list dies to the pets? Huh? Wait, so A-list, I thought he had the biggest damage, but I guess the pets of the Warlock just continued attacking A-list. Oh, so how did that warrior return? I don't know how that man came back. I think I know how he did it.